So today, guys, we're going to be talking about a lot of things that have been going on with the Division 2. And some of these things kind of sucks to hear, but it's good to really know more about what's been going on with the division, what their plans are for the future, and keep you guys updated. Now, all of this information has really came out over, I want to say, the last month or so. And before we get into it, I did want to show you guys, look at this really cool. I was out in Warlords in New York. The storm came in, and what this reminded me of what Survival 2 could have been. And it's not looking like we'll get a Survival for the Division 2, but just seeing this knows that there was the capability of bringing it with this type of weather, and it would have done really well. But all of these thoughts, all these comments do come from the creative director himself, Yannick, at Ubisoft Massive. And he is the creative director for the Division 2, so everything he does say, it's legit, right? So all this information is coming from him, and I will quote his tweets so that way you guys can see it yourself. Now, the first topic we're going to talk about is survival in the Division 2, and like I said, it's not looking like it will happen. Buzz did have a short video, and he said over 500 likes. Maybe it's time to bring it back. And then Yannick responded with over 500 likes deserve at least an answer. So here it is. I will consider bringing back Survival the day I'm 100% confident we can deliver something better than the original. So that right there is the main reason we haven't gotten a Survival 2. I just feel like they don't think they can really improve on it at this moment, or maybe they just don't have the resources to do it. But in their own words were, when they can bring something that is better than Survival, then they will do it. So maybe in the future, but it's looking like probably not for the Division 2. I think if we ever get a Survival, it wouldn't come until we get a new Division 3. Now, we all know by now that the Division 2 update that was scheduled to come in February was postponed, and prior to that, we were getting intelligent annexes based on that, and they actually stopped, right? Well, William did ask, what does this mean for the intelligent annex updates? And Yannick said, we're gonna be putting these on pause now until we get closer to the update being ready. So expect once the updates do get closer to dropping, well, that's when we'll get more intelligent annexes. So it's really just a waiting game now, right? Just a waiting game for what's going to happen with the Division 2, and then also with the new standalone game, Division Heartland. Now, someone did ask about next-gen systems. So if you have the new Xbox or new PlayStation, they said a serious question, and I'm not taking the piss. Are you planning on complete overhaul of the game for next-gen consoles? As, for example, the game on PlayStation 5 is listed as PlayStation 4 game. So would that not be possible to do? And Yannick said that's not something we have planned. And I figured they wouldn't put the resources into making a PlayStation 5 version because the game obviously isn't that bad. They did unlock 6 frames per second. Obviously, they can improve on it. It could definitely look a lot better. And they're not going to do it. And the main reason why, guys, if you think about it, it's just not a really good business decision. And especially if they plan on doing Division 3, well, Division 3 will have that next-gen upgrade. So I expect that is the main reason why. They probably have plans for the Division 3 in the future, later in the future, and why put the resources in upgrading this game to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, when they could just focus all those resources on whatever Division games they have for the future. So one of the biggest questions I always get in my streams is about crossplay, cross progression, cross save. And well, this person asked about crossplay, says, moreover, is there any possibility of getting crossplay appearing in the Division 2? Yannick answers, regarding crossplay, this is also not something we're planning. And before we read that comment, I did want to read this question by Captain Steels, who actually talks more about cross progression versus crossplay. And this is something that he answers with the same tweeted comment. He says, it's not part of our plan, sadly. I explained some of the reasoning here. So let's get into it. Let's see what he had to say about crossplay, cross progression, and obviously cross save. So Yannick says, we have different databases per platform that don't communicate with each other. Changing that means completely overhauling our online infrastructure. Not impossible, but a huge amount of work. And that's not even talking about the risks that come with migrating existing saves. So the biggest issue that I see is if you guys ever play the Division on multiple platforms, like I've played on PC and PlayStation, and when you play on each, you use the same Ubisoft Connect, right? So my Ubisoft Connect is connected to both platforms. It's connected to PC and it's connected to PlayStation. But when I log on my PlayStation account, I have everything, right? Because that's the one I put all the hours into. When I log into my PC account, I'm only like level 31 or 33. I'm slowly getting it up there. So that right there is already a big issue because they're not communicating, right? So what he's saying is they have to do a whole overhaul on that. So that means time, resources for them to do that. It's almost just way too time consuming. It's better for them to leave it the way it is now if they plan on doing a Division 3. Now, if they don't plan on doing a Division 3, then I can see it being something they do in the future. But obviously we know Ubisoft is known for doing sequels. Look at Assassin's Creed, look at Watch Dogs, look at just all those games. They've always done sequels. And I really feel that could be the main thing holding them back. Because when Ubisoft came out a while back and they talked about Ubisoft Connect, that was their big pushing point. Cross-save, cross-play. And one of the big games that is coming out, Rainbow Six Extraction, is actually launching with cross-play, and that's one of the cool features that it has. So the newer games that do launch that are already in the system, it's going to be easy for them to really launch it with cross-play if they choose to do that right at launch. But to go back and work on the system, especially with the Division where you have different gear and having the chance of losing that gear, well, I think that's just something that they're not really willing to risk. Because imagine if you go in there and I lost everything off my PlayStation account, and then all I have is my stuff on my PC account. How do they know what characters to keep? That will be one of the biggest issues. So I can see that being a big problem, and just one that they really don't want to dive into because it could turn into a nightmare. So there you have it, everybody who's been asking on my streams, and I've kind of addressed this already. People who've seen my streams, I talked about it. It's just something that they're not really looking at addressing at the moment, just because of the time that and effort it's going to cause. So I know it sucks to hear, but I can kind of see where they're coming from, and especially if they're gonna do something with a Division 3 in the future, it's just better to spend those resources, just like not upgrading to a PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X. Now I know the hot topic recently is all about NFTs, and a lot of you guys are against it, and well, they addressed that whole NFTs. Somebody asked, are there plans for the Division 2 to be getting NFTs? And Yannick said, no, we have no plans to bring NFTs into the Division. And that was pretty much everything that we've heard from the creative director himself and from the dev team. And then the team went on vacation, but today Yannick did have a little jokester in himself. Somebody wrote, "Hey Division, give us something new now," and Yannick came back and said no. And obviously he's probably just trolling a little, but the team is back at Ubisoft Massive from what I've been hearing. And also the team has been hiring, so they are hiring new developers. So it looks like the team is getting bigger. So I don't know what they have planned, or if this is all just to do with the new update, or if they have something bigger planned for the future. So the Division does look like it's headed in the right direction with the new update, and then hopefully with this new standalone. Obviously, no, we do have the Division movie coming out, and we've already covered all of that. So all we can really do now is just wait a little bit. We're gonna wrap up the video here, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are on not having crossplay, cross progression. I know that was one thing a lot of you guys wanted, including myself, but I understand where they're coming from, and obviously they don't want us to lose our characters, because I know I would hate to keep all my PC stuff and lose all my PlayStation stuff. It would suck. So I kind of side with them on that. But we're gonna wrap up the video here. Appreciate the support, appreciate the love. I'll see you guys in the next one. But until then, Nothing But Skills is out.